after doing the one arm with the body and the other arm with the body, all we have to do now is put them together. So let's just look at the details of how they come together. But then again, don't get too bogged down with the detail. If your mind goes to the detail and making sure each piece is very, very correct, you'll put inertia and you'll put in these little stops and starts into your movement. So the point of the detail is so that you can work towards getting it better and smoother and more integrated, rather than really focusing, oh, that hand's supposed to be there when that hand's there, and then one will stop while the other one's moving, and this will destroy the movement, and it will really radically reduce the flow of chi in the body. And it is the flow of chi that is primary here. If we were looking at it from the perspective of form correction, then it would be a very different piece of kit. Okay, so from the position of standing, shift, step out, and then whichever is the weighted leg, this arm is going to come up like the pendulum to the side position and up to the top of the dome as you turn back. The other arm is at the bottom position at this point in time. And then as we turn to the other side, you get the other arm coming up with the pendulum swing as the hand drops out. Now here you have the fingers are roughly the height of the wrist of the other hand. So the upper arm, the hand is facing away to the 45, the elbow is dropped, the shoulder is dropped, and the bottom hand rising up comes up to about fingertips to the wrist height. And that is the point you start to turn back. Come to this side, the upper hand is dropping down, the lower hand is rising. They get to about that height, and then you turn. And the hand rises to the top of the dome as the other hand swings to the bottom of the pendulum swing. Here, facing forward. And then from the top of the dome, the hand is going to drop out and down as the bottom hand scoops up. And again, you're looking roughly fingertips coming to the height of the wrist at the point of finishing the weight shift and the turning. They're not trying to touch, they're just at the same height. And then you turn away. So there's two ways to look at the cloud hands movement. As you go from one side to the other, you're looking to find this alignment of the fingers to the wrist on both sides. Fingers to wrist on the other side. So here you're playing with the dome and the pendulum together, coming to the top and bottom points, and then dropping down and rising up on the other side. And then change direction, the top and the bottom points, and then down and up to the same position. This will help you get a certain flow in the body. And this will help you find the point of your furthest shift and turn on one side, and then your furthest shift and turn on the other side. So this is one way to look at splitting the circle, the pendulum and the dome. And there's another way. So after you finish this side here, come to the midpoint where you're at the top and the bottom. Now from here, you can look at the upper hand as going all the way to the bottom position and the lower hand going all the way to the top position. And so now we split the circle in the other way. So starting here, turning to one side and continuing through and turning back to the midpoint and coming to the top and bottom position on the other side. Turning from the midpoint to the side and running through to the top and bottom points on this side. And therefore, you get the up and the down to be continuous as you work the circle in these two halves. And relax for a moment. So first you cut the circle this way, dome, pendulum, dome, pendulum. Then you cut the circle this way, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. And therefore, you can now blend into one circle. And when we do this, if your hands, let's say, cross slightly lower, or if they cross slightly higher, it's not the end of the world. It's better to keep the flow and not have so much accuracy and precision than get the accuracy and precision and lose the flow. So for the purpose of the fire element, now we're looking for this smooth, continuous flow in the body, and do your best to have the 4 points here, 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 and here come together as best you can. And as you're going through your practice, just be aware of where your hands are and then try to mold the movement without stopping to get those points to be accurate. But again, the flow is primary. Okay, so from here, standing, one hand comes up, over, and then the other hand comes up. And then one smooth, continual flow without stopping, without breaking, without inertia, without rushing, without speeding up and slowing down. Nice and smooth. Keep the hands alive and open, but do not tense. Do not let them flop like wet noodles. Keep the hands alive. And the next time your hand comes down, rest that hand. And then the other hand again, when it comes down, step back in and release. Let go.